So hello and welcome to Satsang. Namaste. As everyone kind of already knows, we've written down the name of a person on a piece of paper and placed it by the picture of the saint, Sri Swami Purna. And we're having an intention for that person, that being, to be included in this gathering and blessed with the energy and grace. So, also anyone online who would like to, and anyone who would like to write down a name of a person that they also want to be included in the gathering and connected into the blessings, you can take a piece of paper and write that down and have your intention for that person to be included as well. So it's almost like you imagine as if that person's here in the room with you. And if they've passed on, that's okay too. You can imagine that their soul is here. However you want to imagine them being here with us today. And so I wanted to just very briefly introduce myself. Most people already know me, so I will be short about this. Hi, yes, and put it actually here.
Sorry. There's a couple of ladies coming.
Yeah. So my name is Brian, and I have been holding these gatherings regularly since 2012. And I only did so by the guidance of my spiritual teacher, Sri Swami Purna Maharaj, who I lit a candle for, who kind of sits behind me. I would not have done this, probably, had I not been instructed by him to do it. Hi! So perhaps I wouldn't have been brave enough to quit my whole life and set out and, do this, because I was doing it for 3 years, really not working it at all, and relying on the good graces and donations of people who I met along the way. So kind of magically it just unfolded, and for 3 years it was actually very beautiful, very successful. And so I'm very excited for tonight, because this evening we will be, oh yeah, great, thank you for doing that. Yeah. Or if you like to sit on the floor as well, it's totally fine. So I would like to explain briefly, or on the couch as well. There's 2 spaces on the couch. Yeah. Comfortable. Or you can sit next to me if you like. Right here. Yeah. So I want to explain what is satsang, because this is sort of this can be an odd word even for people who live in India, where the word originated. So satsang is a Sanskrit term from ancient India. It's a word that can be divided into 2, sat and sang. Sat means truth, sang means gathering. So this is a gathering, sang or sangha, kind of like, you get together at Unity Church and you have a gathering. That's a sangha. It's a gathering of people, spiritual seekers who are looking to discover the truth of their own being. And sat means truth. So gathering in truth. And this started in ancient Indian times, probably originated in the Himalayas, which is where most spiritual masters hid. They lived in a cave in the Himalayas, and those disciples or those spiritual seekers who were very serious would journey up into the Himalayas quite far, searching for the spiritual master. So the spiritual master would not make it easy for them. Then they would come, they'd find their cave, they would sit in the presence of the master and just sort of bathe in the presence and the energy and connect into the blessings. And it would transform their body, mind, and soul. It would purify them. Because the master, the spiritual master, if it's a true master, is someone who is the embodiment of truth itself, meaning someone who has realized divinity, God. I'm not that. I'm simply sort of sharing what I know. Sharing what I know. And the gatherings that I hold are sort of sanctified by a Himalayan master. So I would consider as Swami Purna literally being here tonight and cocooning us in the grace, almost like we're making a sort of little bubble of truth, and each person online as well, kind of creating that little bubble for themselves at home. So there is one more explanation, probably not one more, but probably many more, but the word sat as truth. This is a very important word. Truth is that which cannot be understood, conceived, smelled, tasted, felt. Truth is beyond anything that we could possibly feel as a human being. Come in. So we can't understand it, but we can become it. It seems rather a strange thing to say, but hi. But it is. What we are trying to do here tonight, at least what I'm hoping you came here tonight for, is to calm the vibrations of our being so that we can connect into a space that is what I call pure consciousness. And it is untouched by the mind, untouched by the senses, and untouched by any emotions that you have. So it is beyond all of that. One could call it the uncreated truth. So there are many sort of methods to achieve that state. Thank you. And I am going to introduce this evening a sort of series of meditations designed to take you there, into the stillness of your own being. Some people might call that as the soul. Some people might call it as divine. Some people might call it as God consciousness. Some people might not like any of those words. So you don't have to believe in the words or agree with the words, or for that matter, agree with anything that I'm saying. It's more about what your inner experience is. So when you come to a gathering like this, you could just be paying attention to your mind and all the judgments that it makes around the quote-unquote presentation and like what's happening in this person. I use this word or this meditation or this mantra or this idea of God or this, whatever. People have resistances to all kinds of things. Or you could just say, Mr. or Mrs. Mind, I'm not interested in your analysis or criticisms or judgments tonight. I want to sort of let everything go. All concepts and ideas of what I think truth or God is, I want to just let those go and be open to diving into my own being. That's all. Very simple. Just allow something to unfold inside yourself that is beautiful, profound, and amazing. In other words, just let go. You will get so much more out of this than trying to take a lot of notes and figure out what I'm trying to say. This is not a class or some sort of lecture. It's nothing to do with that. It is experiential. And it's like walking through a doorway into the unknown, the great mystery. Some people call it like the Tao. It's like that great mystery, which is you. Which is you. So the first, we'll call it energy, that I would like to invoke tonight is the presence of Shiva. Now raise your hand if you know of or have heard of Shiva. Okay, the majority of people. I can't see people raising their hands online, but that's okay. But I bet that pretty much everyone online well knows Shiva, or because that's gone to plenty of my gatherings that knows Shiva. So Shiva is considered as the god of infinite goodness, you could say, in the sort of Hindu or Vedic tradition. You don't have to look at it as a god. You could simply see it as a sort of energy. You could see it as a symbol of an aspect of your own being. So Shiva's not something outside of you. It's a Shiva inside you. So when you chant the mantra, you go Shiva, 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 you're saying, Shiva, wake up inside me. In other words, God, wake up inside me. That's the idea. It's kind of cool. Like you've got a bunch of gods inside you, and all you have to do is call them, and they literally start to flower inside you, and your consciousness changes from human to God consciousness. You just kind of walk that path, so to speak. So the mantra, or the word to access Shiva inside you, is Soham, Soham, Shivoham, Soham. I mean, actually there are many, but this is one of them. This one was also given to me by Sri Swami Purna, who one could say is an embodiment of Shiva himself. So the mantra again is Soham, Soham, Shivoham, Soham. Soham means I am that. That with a capital T. So don't try to define that. The moment you try to define that, you've lost Shiva. Your mind will try to figure it out. That with a capital T is the above and beyond. So Soham, I am that. And then Shivoham, can anyone guess then what that means? I am Shiva. Exactly. So you're repeating to yourself, I am Shiva, I am Shiva, I am Shiva. I am that, I am that, I am that. That's it. It's quite simple. And yet so profound. Okay, so we'll chant it together and then try to feel the presence of the mantra as you're chanting it. It's good to do it aloud. Don't be shy. And when you do it aloud, it sort of blesses the little bugs in the air, in the furniture, Sheila's house. Sheila will be very happy when she comes back. She'll go, Shiva's been here. Right? Just chanting it aloud. You're doing a service to the atmosphere that you're in, right? And you can also, if you're listening online, you can do it in your own room, and you can bring the blessings of Shiva into the room that you're in. So the melody of this mantra is very easy, so you'll learn it quickly. As I'm chanting it, you chant it, you sing it with me. So hum, Shivo hum, so hum. 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 So Shivo hum, so hum. So hum, 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 Shivo Soham, Soham, Shivoham, Soham, 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 Shivoham, Soham. And again, let's take in 3 deep breaths and breathe the light of that mantra into our body, mind, and soul. If you like to feel the mantra or the presence of the mantra more deeply in your being, then you simply set a prayer or an intention and say to yourself, I want to connect into this mantra as deeply as possible. And then just feel. Allow. Accept. So let me explain how this works. You, as a human being or an entity, are made of many coverings. In Sanskrit, they call them koshas. You've got this body covering, which is made of food. It's food. You're walking food, right?
You are what you eat.
Right. You're literally, this is all the food that you've eaten right here. It's somehow miraculously formed into a creature. Kind of amazing how that happened, right? But that's the surface level. That's like one costume, the Annamaya Kosha, the food body. But there are so many other bodies that you have. A lot of people focus their whole life on this Annamaya Kosha, this food body. Very concerned about making that food body look good. At one time, I was really concerned about my head going bald. Now, not so much. Kind of like it. But you see, I could spend my whole life worrying about my looks. Or I could say, well, what's deeper than just physical body? Because everyone's got a physical body and everyone understands the physical body. Pretty much, at least has a sense of it. Look in the mirror and say, that's me. Here's my driver's license, that's me. Then you could imagine that there is an emotional body. That's your emotions. Can you see the emotions? They're invisible, right? But you know that they still exist because you feel them. That's a body. If you're really in your emotional body, then you're very, a lot of emotions streaming through. So you can certainly tune into that, so much so that maybe you even forget your physical body. So that's a body. There's an energy body too. You've got energy flowing through you. You may not be able to see it, but you're sort of made of all these different energy channels, pranic channels, nadis that run through, and you're made of also chakras. These are energy vortexes, aspects of your mind. So then there's also your actual mind or your thoughts. This is also a body. When you're thinking, when you've got this little person inside your head chattering away, trying to figure life out. Is this good or bad for me? Right? That's a body, the mind body, manamaya kosha. But then there's also an intellect body. You see, the mind body can believe one thing one day and believe another thing the next day. It can be totally the opposite, right? You could change your mind tomorrow and have a totally different opinion. I like that person one day, but I hate that person the next day. That's the nature of mind, very, very fickle. So you have to be careful about the mind. And then there's the intellect, which is, here's how the intellect works. The mind says this. This food looks so tasty, my mouth is watering, I must eat it. And the intellect says, that food, whatever, say a donut or something, is not so good for me. It looks tasty, but I know it's not going to help me to sort of remain healthy and vibrant in my body. So I'm not going to eat it. That's your intellect. That's a smart cookie. He or she kind of will make good assessments and discrimination for your good. But what happens oftentimes is we get so much involved in our mind that changes from one day to another. It's almost like it's hormonal. It's kind of like, who knows what it's going to think tomorrow. Those are different bodies. So you've got the intellect, and then beyond the intellect is your bliss body. Some people call that the Anandamaya Kosha, the Ananda, your bliss body. That body most people are not in tune with because they're so focused on these other bodies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the attention is so much placed on the other bodies, you don't even realize you have a bliss body. So it really depends on where your attention is placed, what you're going to feel. If your attention is so focused on this, that's what you are. And you'll be that your whole life. If your mind is if you're so focused on your emotions, you're going to be in an emotional roller coaster your whole life. So we're trying to penetrate, and not just penetrate these bodies into deeper and deeper aspects of our being, but we're trying to cleanse or clear each one of them. Because if you've got a bunch of problems with your physical body, you can't even sit still because your back is hurting. How can you meditate when you're just thinking about how much your back hurts, right? So you have to heal your physical body, and then you have to heal your emotional body, because if your emotional body is taking over, how are you going to be able to meditate when you're up and down in your emotions? It's going to be real hard. So you start to work out, maybe you go to a psychologist or something. They help you with working out, healing your emotions. And then you go, well, your mind. Now your mind goes up and down, so how can you start to sort of heal your mind so it becomes more stable, not so much changing from one moment to the other. So you start to work out your mind body to become more still. And so then you start penetrating through each one of these bodies, and you become more and more aware of different subtleties of your being. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Because when you penetrate and you kind of clear and heal your intellect body, what's beyond that? Your bliss body. Now that's an extraordinary body. That's where you feel the infinite happiness all the time. You're stunned in happiness. It doesn't stop. It's like a flowing river, constantly going. Where your mind and your emotions no longer dominate you. In fact, mind and emotions, they look like bliss to you also. So you're not bogged down by those. You're just in an ocean of bliss. And then you can penetrate even through the Ananda body, Ananda Maya Kosha, into the soul, the Atma. So each one of us has all these different coverings, costumes, we'll say. We're all at a Halloween party right now and interacting with different costumes. You never know how the person's going to be the next day. They may be mad at you the next day and happy with you the next day. Those are all just costumes. It's not soul. It's the bouncing off of the different, it's like some people call it Maya, or the illusion. Penetrating through each one of those, finally you get to your own soul, your own being. And that is where every being and everyone is the same. No difference. It's where this term of oneness comes from. When you see everyone as a soul, you no longer see or feel differences. Everyone is one and the same. And that may be hard to sort of conceptualize with the mind, because the mind goes, what does that really mean? I can't really grok or get that because I'm not experiencing everything as the one soul. Of course, how can you get the soul when you're in your mind body, or in your body, your physical body? How are you going to get it? So that's why the reason why I'm explaining this is, in these gatherings, the energy of the mantras and the meditations are trying to calm down and quiet and heal each one of these layers or costumes. And when they all sort of settle down and become still, you can penetrate all the way into the pure stillness. And then you're happy all the time. Nothing bothers you anymore. The world doesn't bother you anymore, because everything is soul consciousness. And then you wonder, like, as you're interacting with people, why are they so bothered? You just don't, it's hard to even relate why a person gets stressed out by the world, because you're in tune with your pure stillness. You're okay whether something goes right or wrong, so to speak. You're good either way. The only reason that you're concerned about whether you're about right or right or wrong, did this go right or did this go wrong, is because your mind has an opinion about what is right or wrong. In soul consciousness, it's all one, it's all bliss. Everything is good and happy and lovely. So you're automatically, and if everything is the soul, everyone who you hang out with, you're going to love them. Even if they hate you, you're going to love them. Because you know they're the soul, and you know that they're playing in their costume, and it's not really who they are. That's the funny thing about it. It's such an odd experience. An enlightened being is trying to wake up people to their soul consciousness so they can be at peace just like that being is. Like if you're talking to a saint, the saint's not going, oh, all of you must worship me because I'm so much higher than you. No, the saint is saying, but we're the same. We're the same. Let me kind of like shake you up, try to like wake you up out of the sleepy consciousness. You're not actually the human that you put on your driver's license and say, that's me. That's a food. That's food. It's like, are you food? Is that it? See, that's the puzzlement of the the enlightened being is going, what's wrong? They're all crazy. Let me help them to break out of the suffering. And there's the compassion, right? An enlightened being automatically has compassion, desiring to help all the parts of itself get in alignment with itself. So people can finally relax and be happy, eternally happy. Every being is treading this path to eternal happiness, to discover the soul. Every single being. No matter how evil you may think they are. If they're going through some sort of evil stage, it's simply for their own learning, so that they can work out their own karma and unravel their issues. There's always a reason, always a purpose for how people are acting, in terms of where they're at on their path. So you have to go through your own karma. Whether it's dark or light, underneath it all is the pure light, or Shiva. That sameness. Purity of heart. Okay. So let's do a third eye meditation, as this gathering is honoring your third eye. Now, you actually do have a physical third eye. It's called the pineal gland. If you opened up your skull right now and you looked inside, you would literally see a physical eye on the brain, which has like receptors and stuff like that that sees like a normal eye, except it's more subtle. There's like superpowers when you unlock this third eye. If you could unlock this chakra or this energy center, you could close your physical eyes and see 360 degrees everywhere. No problem, without your physical eyes. So the mantra that we're going to do to heal the third eye is also for the physical eyes. Someone was saying that they were, looking to try to heal their physical eyes, right? If you would like to heal your physical eyes and also open up your third eye, you can use this specific mantra for that. Yeah. So the mantra is Om Chakchu Chakchu. Om, infinite. It means just infinite. It's another name for God. Om. And then Chakchu. Chakchu means eye or divine eye. Chakchu in Sanskrit. So you say Om Chakchu Chakchu. And just focusing on this area. It's kind of like energy medicine, we'll call it. Like when you go to a doctor, optometrist or whatever, they'll work on your physical eyes to help heal them, help to work on them, but hardly any eye doctor is going to work on you energetically to sort of heal the deeper parts that may be causing your eye problem in the first place. Usually we look such on a surface level, we don't know what's the deeper cause of why we have a particular physical ailment. So this mantra goes deeper into sort of the deeper cause of what your eye problems are. You don't have to understand what that is. You simply allow the energy to work on you. And you also don't have to believe what I'm saying either. You can simply chant it and feel it. And if you notice something, then you go, okay, now I believe you. Because I don't expect anyone to just, you can be totally skeptical if you want, but at least try it for yourself and try to sense deeply what's happening inside you, because that's a key thing. You have to learn to become more subtle. I often say this. Subtlety is key here. We know the gross, everyone knows the gross level, but can you feel the energy here? That's a different part of your being that you can develop that kind of awareness. Okay, so we place our hands over our eyes, or our right hand over our eyes like this, and then we'll chant together the mantra Om Chakchu Chakchu for a minute or two. Om Chakchu Chakchu, Om Chakchu Chakchu, Om Chakchu Chakchu, Om Chakchu Chakchu. 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 We relax the hands and just note if there's any shift that you feel inside. And if you do, put your attention there and let it pull you in. And the way this works is the more you get absorbed into that subtle energy, the more it takes you over. It sort of consumes your whole being until you become the mantra itself, or the presence of that mantra. And then you are that. You are, we'll say, enlightened in that path. If you find that your mind loses focus on the energy, just notice that, and then you take your attention back to the presence that you feel and try to become absorbed into it again. You just keep bringing your mind back. It's a good practice, a good discipline. So to heal your eyes, this is an excellent practice. Along with eating carrots. It's good for you. Some of you may walk out and not need your glasses anymore.
I'm going to drive home blindfolded.
Now he's getting it, but I'll have to have you sign a waiver.
Right, yeah. So I could do this.
Right, you too. If you decide to do the same thing as he's doing. So there's another very simple practice you can do for not just awakening the third eye, but really empowering and intensifying your meditation practice. I like this particular one just because it's so easy. Anyone can do it. And it helps to focus your mind from different angles. This is why I love it, right? Because the mind is a slippery little guy, little girl. You just like start going into Timbuktu and you're like, what just happened? It got away from me, right? So if you're focusing on a couple of different things, now more of your mind will be here in the meditation. So we're going to do what I call the So-Hum meditation. So-Hum is a mantra specifically to awaken the third eye chakra, awaken your intuition, and awaken your spiritual nature. This is where spirit is realized. You realize I am a spiritual being when you're connected into this chakra. So-Hum, in this meditation, you will chant it silently in your mind. And you breathe out through your nose, so, and then you breathe in, hum. So you're doing it slowly, in and out through the nose. You're paying attention to your breath, and also chanting So-Hum in your mind. So you're going, because you're not going to hear me, I'm going, so. I'm saying so, and then, and I'm thinking hum. And it's just very slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. And we'll just do this for about 3 minutes. And then, after doing it, and it may be a little bit difficult for you at first, but note the effects at the end. And you might be surprised where the mantra can take you.
So is exhale.
So is exhale. And hum is inhale. Okay? So we're going to start now, breathing out so. Deeply breathing in, hum. Breathing out so. Breathing in, hum. Breathing out so. Breathing in, hum. Breathing out, 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 so. Breathing in, hum. Breathe out, so. Breathe in, hum. Three more times. Gently, we come back to stillness. Relax. And tune in to the energy of the mantra. Just allow it to illuminate your entire being. Each one of those bodies, the physical body, emotional body, energy body, illuminates the mind body. Illuminating the intellect, illuminating the bliss body, and finally illuminating the soul. And allow your entire being to merge into Soham. Just let go of all of those bodies. Let all the costumes fall away. Let your whole life fall away. Every single one of your bodies, your costumes were to dissolve right now, and nothing was left, nothing, no mind, no emotions, no physical body, no senses. Where would you be and who would you be? drop your entire existence. Just let it go. Become absolutely still. Shiva, Om, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Om, Shiva, Shiva, Om, and just allow that mantra to sweep over you. To just sweep away all your thoughts, all any frazzled vibrations in your body. Let them just melt away. Let yourself feel clear, crystal clear. And then allow yourself to become Shiva. To merge with that divine being. To dive into that which you are. And now let's set our intention for this energy to penetrate even more deeply. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Let it touch into the window of your own soul, to that deepest part of you. Let that being be awakened. Let it be free. Whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, this is the most important quest of your life. This is why you are here. to take back your soul, to return back to your source, to find true happiness, true love, final peace. The soul is crying for this. The deepest pain is not physical body suffering. It's not emotional suffering, mental suffering. The deepest pain in a human being is the soul's crying to be free, waiting in the wings. And the mantra is a knocking at the door. It's saying, remember, awake, arise. Get your soul back. Be happy, be free, be blissful. This is your birthright. Find out who you are. Use your life wisely to discover this. Don't wait. Your soul is crying, missing you. So I've noted and noticed that people who have more profound spiritual experiences tend to be more excited about following the spiritual path, tend to go out of their way to come to these types of gatherings. It's not necessarily easy to sit still for an hour and a half and meditate. It's not easy for most people. We want to constantly be doing things. So it takes some effort, I realize that. But once you touch into the beauty of who you are, all your other pursuits will pale in comparison to the experience that you have of your own being. And it's funny because it's all already in you. You don't need to go and find it and get it somewhere or from someone. You don't need to chase after it or look under stones or rocks or in rivers or in mountains or go to caves. You don't need to. Just be as you are. Now, these gatherings can be helpful to catalyze a certain energetic magic inside you, which is why I call them, these gatherings, rather mystical. People who don't feel spiritual energy may come here and may be sorely disappointed because you're thinking about body consciousness. So how are you going to appreciate the more refined sense of being, right? How are you going to really love that or appreciate that unless you yourself have the experience? And the funny thing is, too, oftentimes we might have a really beautiful experience in a gathering like this and then go home and then forget that we ever had it. Well, what happened in that gathering? You know, it's like we forget about our spiritual path. We wake up and just continue on with our daily lives and forget about touching into the soul, which is why I try to be motivational to say, you can do it. Because I myself over years have gotten so distracted by sort of outside activities. Not that I didn't have to do those activities, but it's like I'm trying to bring in the spiritual energy and the contemplation into the activities that I'm doing, rather than just doing them as sort of worldly things and that's it. In other words, I could be eating food and going, oh boy, this is tasty food, I love it. Or I could go, this food is in the body of God. Or I could be chanting over the food and blessing it, or something. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm actually bringing the sanctity into the mundane activity, transforming it into, instead of a normal human mundane act, into a divine act. Which is why, when I eat my food, I don't just start immediately eating it, because I know that the food has been touched by many, many, many people, and the energies of many people are on this food. Most of them probably were not in such a good mood when they were picking the plants or processing it. So I place my hands over the food and I say, Tu diyam vasta govinda tupameva samarpayat. And it immediately changes sort of the molecules of the food, and it purifies any sort of negativity in that food. So now when I'm eating it, I'm bringing in this different vibration into my body, because I'm also trying to enlighten my body too. Enlighten the emotional body, enlighten the physical body, enlighten the mental body, the energy body. All of those get brought up to a sort of higher vibration. They all get in attunement with the divine. Trying to bring it all up. I'm not just saying, well, you know what? My body, it doesn't really matter. Forget about that. I'm just going to transcend everything and go into heaven. Could do that, right? It'd be kind of fun. Right? But the body is also part of you as well. So you take care of the body. That's why I will often do body gatherings, but specifically use mantras like the one Om Chak Chu is also a physical body one. It's transforming the physical eyes, making your vision better. So I'm not just about running away from the physical world and saying I want nothing to do with it. I used to kind of be like that, actually. I used to want to do that. It's like, I don't want anything to do with the physical world. The physical world's too hard. It's too difficult. I said, no, okay, I want to bring all of my bodies, all of my being up into a different dimension. Very exciting. Call it the whole path. Whole in Sanskrit, Purna. Purna means whole. The whole path. Meaning no stone left unturned. Looking for every single quote-unquote bad bone in my body and uncovering where I'm still negative. Where I've still got problems. If I'm around someone and I react, I've still got problems. Why did I react? Where did the anger come from? Where did the depression come from? Where did the insecurity come from? And then go into that, explore that, and try to heal that part. As if I'm trying to assist my own child, because the ego's like your own child. You're trying to take care and find out how you can kind of help it to relax and calm, and everything's gonna be okay. The whole universe is conspiring to help you. It's all good. It's like those kinds of messages help you to calm down and relax, so you can kind of glide through life rather than, going through life like a swamp, because it can become like that. If you're feeling depressed, life is kind of like a swamp. Heavier. So the mantras and the practices help to sort of soothe you, relax you, and just clear out the heavier parts of you so you can walk lightly across the earth and enjoy. I'm trying to prove to you that this is not all woo-woo. Because some people go, what kind of spiritual gathering have I gotten myself into? Especially people who haven't come to a satsang before. Has anyone not come to a gathering like this before? 1, 2, 3? Yeah. So you could come in and go, wow, this is intimidating. What is he talking about? God and spirit and soul? Wow. That's way too deep for me. I remember going to a party where someone said that to me. It was a party in Virginia, I think, and I went to a party. And see, I'm the type of guy that immediately would jump into really deep conversations about how the universe works and what soul and spirit is. And this one guy was just striking up a conversation. He goes, wait a minute, buddy. We're going pretty too deep for the party right now. Whoa, okay. Apologize. But that's just kind of how I am. I forget, oh, this is a party. Shall we talk about beer, wine, pizza? What do you talk about at a party? Because this to me is a party. It's a spiritual party. Oh, I attend a lot of spiritual parties. Okay. So, we're going to conclude the gathering with the final mantras. Now these, you may not know them, but the idea is just to open and let them in. Let them sort of wash over you. It's kind of like taking a bath, but it's more like an energy bath. So, and these mantras are in honor of Swami Purna, who blesses this gathering tonight. He's my spiritual teacher. You can, you can make him later, but yeah, he's kind of, you can call him a Himalayan master. This kind of helps people with their spiritual development. And the mantras really represent my gratitude for his support of my own path and so many others who are really sincerely looking for the truth. So just allow the mantras to arise inside you. Finally, the Purna mantra. Purna means whole and complete, perfect, full. place our hands in prayer position in front of our heart. We'll chant together the mantra Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, sending a wave of peace to all beings in this world. Om